Hi guys, I am Susan from Orange Light Energy. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my sessions and just explain what it does, how it works, what it is impacting, also how relevant it is right now to the wounding that we are seeing rise. So I know a lot of people have written about Atlantis. There's a lot of information about that. I've never read any of the books. And I would have told you that I was not going to look at this. I felt a lot of resistance to it. But the information started to come in. It came little by little. And as much as I had felt resistance to it, I also knew it was important. So you may feel that too. The wounding of the time that we address is very relevant to things that we are going through now. And so it can, it can push on those wounds, it can push on those triggers, but it is really big and important work. So I wanted to just talk through it, give you some understanding of what it is. As I said, a lot of people have written about the Atlantis times, about the civilization. And Atlantis, I believe it was about 5,000 years that civilization existed. So you probably had multiple lifetimes there. You may have had people read on your time in Atlantis before, and it's been completely different experiences. What we are addressing is a very specific time period that created a very specific wound or set of wounds that are coming up for healing right now. So no, don't feel that you have to judge this against anything you've done before, that you have to have expectations around this based on a certain book or whatever information that you have had, because this could be outside of that, or it may amplify what you have already done. So I'm going to talk about this in the way that it came to me, in the order that it came. Oftentimes the grid is the last part of the puzzle, but for Atlantis, this was the first piece that I was shown. I had the grid. And, once I had the grid, its energy started to permeate my energy to start to get me to work through my own traumas with this, to be able to deal with it. So this is the grid. Sorry if my light is reflecting on it a little bit. This is the grid that is used for this session. One of my favorites. I mean, it's beautiful. Up here, this is green amethyst. These flowers, trying to think of hellebore, winter rose. This, as soon as I put this grid together, I started to think about what is this dealing with, because this particular flower, when you look it up, can help you to clear demonic energies. We've got record keeper rubies on here with these gold circles on them. Record keeper rubies are a lot about the Akashic records, about healing of the past. You have all of these other things too. This is golden healer quartz. There's infinity symbols on here. There's a lot of different pieces that are making up this grid. In the center is this. This slab is septarian dragonstone. It's just, it's a slice of something larger. And this is what was put at the center. I already had this for a short while before I made this grid, and I had programmed it with symbols specifically for energy protection. So this was something I already knew was connected to protection. Obviously, dragon energy a lot of times can be used for protection also. And on top of that, on the grid, is this sphere, which this sphere is a copper tensor ring. And tensor rings are energy amplifiers, energy clearers. So right away, you've got a dragonstone crystal that already was programmed for protection. And now we're putting an amplifier on there. There are crystals here that we use a lot for protection. There's the flowers that are used a lot for protection. Which gave me a hint of why maybe I was feeling resistance to this. So I was still hesitant, and the information started to come in. I started to understand how to clear what this was. I had understanding of the wound, but still not understanding of how it came about. What was the situation? That, in this instance, was the last piece of information to be given. there's a lot of parts to this, but really the wound here comes from a time when, you know, this was this beautiful high vibration society, a place of real enlightenment. And times of change come. Times of change that we may struggle with, as we struggle now, as our world is in a place where we're seeing transition and change once again. See, it's still, for me, this is a big one, and it's been coming up so much over the past few weeks. You know, when you do this session, it will be very personal to you, which part of the wound you hold. I started doing this work last year, and a lot of people did it then, and there were certain parts of the wound that resonated with what was going on in the world then. And then for people who are drawn to it now, it's talking about their experiences in Atlantis, how they reflect the things they may be going through now, how things that they're witnessing now may be triggering, helping them to release and to work through those things. But yeah, in that time, there was, you know, always when things get to be too still, when things are too comfortable, change will come. You know, you may not realize it right away. Things may happen slowly, but change comes. And it can be hard to deal with that. Did you feel responsible for it? How did it impact you? What emotions did it create? What trauma did it create in that time? Because it was, you know, the younger generation, they're bored with the old ways. They want something new, and they pulled in a different energy. An energy that, you know, feels good to them. It's something that people are like, oh my God, it's something new. But then what substance does it offer? You know, what the face that it shows to you in the beginning, what does that reflect? What is that? What was your experience with it? And then how did it impact this society? How did things follow on from there? Because the pulling through of that energy, the accepting of that energy, can have a lot of wounds around discernment. It's just, there's so many parts to this wound that it's hard to try and categorize all of it. But this energy impacted that civilization in a way that changed everything. It broke things down. It changed values. You know, the old systems kind of disregarded, cast out, looking at things that had been respected, had been valued, and suddenly it means nothing. The people who are in charge in this time just throwing things out, discarding things, ridiculing people, heaviness, darkness. I'm gonna look at my notes that I have from this session so I can talk a little bit more about that. But the wounds that were flagged specifically for this were fear of power, fear of giving up power, fear of connection, fear of brainwashing, fear of consequences for actions and choices, fear of your own wishes and choices, hesitation, stagnation, a tendency to lack discernment, fear of being a follower. This can feed you into, you know, not being able to... I know there's a note here about conspiracy theories, not wanting to miss out, not wanting to miss information. It comes back to discernment. Do you follow what everybody else believes, what is acceptable, or do you go on tangents? Do you find these other things? Do you get pulled into things that may or may not be truth because you're trying to make sure you don't fall into this again? You don't get into this. You know, there's a lot in that time about giving up power, giving power to an energy you did not know, you did not understand, you know, blind faith, following something. So now, do you push back on that? Do you step away from that? Do you find it hard to change perspectives, change understandings? Do you feel very much that you feel the need to stick to what you have always known in place of change? You know, there's a lot of parts about this. There can be abundance blocks here because in that time, in these changes, the ones who took power had a lot of need to put value on material things. You know, there's a switch from wearing simple robes to suddenly things are gold, there are jewels. You know, it's all about what do I want and how do you look to other people? Putting the focus on the material instead of upon the energetic, the emotional view of things. There is from this work also specific wounding that is addressed to the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. Your solar plexus is personal power, it's personal strength. Knowing that you are powerful, being able to accept that. If this is damaged, you feeling doubt, hesitation, fears, those heavier energies that will pull you back from really finding all that you are within. Your sacral chakra, to me, this is about opportunities. What is your willingness to take opportunities? Your willingness to move forward, your willingness to shift from where you have been. It's about creativity, sexuality. All of those things are in these chakras. So there's damage specifically to those. There is wounding of mistrust, misuse of power, especially in spiritual areas. How do you react to those in positions of power now? Do you defer to them? Do you fear them? Do you pull back from them? Would you ever be in a position of power, or do you pull yourself back from that? There can also be wounding here from sexual behaviors. Again, it's about power. Do you let people take power? Do people take power from you? What have been your experiences? The work that we do for this, it is very much that this is ingrained in the energy. To connect with an energy like that, for it to take power, because it was accepted willingly, it was invited in by those impacted by this time. It's in your energetic DNA. It's connected in those spaces. So, it's not something you can just go and clear it out of who you are now. It's a part of your soul. It's a part of your soul DNA. This connection that allows this energy from that time to still be connected. And it's an energy that thrives on chaos, thrives on division, which is why I connected to where we are in the world now. Anyone in our Patreon group right now knows why I'm bringing this up, because it's so relevant to some of the things that we're working through, some of the things that are coming up. Energies of division is what is, I want to say destroying, it seems too harsh of a word, but our world right now, the things that are happening, when we cannot find balance, it is tearing apart families, communities, countries. We're in a place where division is a huge barrier to us moving forward. So to be clear of an energy that would amplify that is a big deal. Let me look, see what else there is. So I gave you a little bit about the wounding. Obviously, I'll talk about that more in the actual session. But when we do this work, the beginning part of this is a lot of protection. Calling in energetic protection over us, over the work, cloaking things, making sure, because no dark energy likes to be moved. It doesn't like to be interfered with it. If it's had influence, it doesn't like to be moved. So protections are key here. I work with the energies of Gandalf and Merlin for this. If you want to know about that, that's fine. I know not everybody is, maybe that's my own block, that when you bring up some of these things, it seems a little unreal. But just bear with me. They're powerful energies, whatever we call them, and they are here in a capacity to bring protection and bring their energies to the work that is being done. So we do that whole work, and then we open up a portal. I work with these same energies and we open a portal. It's so pretty. It's got like this beautiful violet light, and there's light code coming through it. And within that portal is you and all of those who share your energetic DNA, which for the most part is related to your ancestral line. So when you're doing this work, it's impacting your energy, but it's also impacting all of the other versions of your soul and those who share your energetic DNA. So it's impacting your ancestral line. So the connection, I want to make sure I explain this clearly. Yeah. So while you're within the portal, because this energy was invited in, was allowed into your energy, it's a contract, it's an agreement that was made that has allowed it presence in your energy. So that means it is something that can be broken, something that can be stepped out of, but it's something that you have to make that choice for, something that is free will. So I have a whole document, you can see how long this is, of words that are spoken by those who are within the portal. The portal is offering you protection. It's amplifying the words, and each one that is standing upon the grid, each version of your soul, each member of your energetic line who chooses to be part of this, is repeating this, severing contracts, severing associations, choosing to step out of something, revoking permissions, calling back your power, calling back what is yours, making sure that you are saying what is needed to clear this, to clear yourself of any association with this, to allow it to be cleared from your energy. Because this is free will, and if you have invited it in, it's harder to clear something if you don't know it's there. But if you clear it from who you are now, but you don't clear it from the other versions of your soul, it's still in there. It's still gonna, the next lifetime, it's gonna come right back. It's still in there. It still has some access. So to clear it in this way and on this level gives you freedom on a whole new level from this energy. So as these words have been spoken, as you're all within the portal, I work again with these energies. We have some magical language. We have some tools that we use, some symbols. And we can clear it from the DNA. We clear the energetic DNA, we go through it, and we take out all residue, all traces of what was here from this energy, from this time. While I'm in there too, I will clear any trauma that I'm able to clear from your DNA, because trauma can carry forward in energetic DNA also. So any trauma that is being held in the energetic DNA will be cleared. As that is done, so all of that is done, we close the portal and address your soul, your energy. We clear trauma, and we do energetic healing around your soul for any time that you spent in Lemuria, in Atlantis. Any trauma that is held from any of the lifetimes that you had there that is able to be released. When you're clearing trauma, it is not gone. It's held in your Akashic record still, but it is not in your energy. You still have the learning that you need. You have any abilities and things that you got from that, but you don't need the trauma. You don't need that in your energy. You know, if you have an Akashic record reading in the future and you need it, it's still there. It's just, you don't need to be holding it with you all of the time. That's what would hold you back. So we do that, and we do energetic healing. When we're doing the healing, there is what they call coded specific symbols that are used for this work, and language that are placed within your solar plexus and your sacral chakras. These are intended specifically to call back all that was lost, to address the specific wounding to these chakras from this time, the things that were impacted by the connection to this energy. And then as that is done, we place a symbol that we were given, a symbol that was channeled, specifically related to the Atlantis healing into your energy. It's drawn, it's placed into your energy. It becomes, you know, a part of you in the way that you had intended, because this always is free will, and your higher self is a part of this work. As this is added, it will bring back to you, it will connect you with whatever you were supposed to be connected with. It's not something that they often will talk to you about and give you, oh, it will be this, this, and this, because if they give you expectations, then there can be disappointment, there can be frustration if these things are not accessible right away. It's a process, it's a path, and you're gonna see, you know, you may find you have dreams about your times in Atlantis. You may find new guides who step forward. You may find abilities that are stronger, new things that you feel drawn to, new things that are opening up, new knowings, new wisdom that you have. You know, these things for everybody will be different. These are things that can really help you in this time now, or whenever you are watching this, whenever you feel drawn to do this work. Yeah, This session, I am fascinated by the session because of what gets shared, because this energetic work will get done for you. And then we can meet on the Zoom call, or I would send you the notes if you don't want to do the Zoom. But they will share with you information on what your soul experienced in that time, what it was that you went through, what was the situation, what is the wounding around it, what are the things that were most likely to be triggers for you. But there will also be shared information on how to move past that. How do you build yourself up? And when you have that kind of information, it's like when you do an Akashic record readings or anything that shows you your past, you are able to see parts of yourself differently, to see your wounds with greater clarity, to see why you may be triggered by something, why something may impact you so deeply. It can help you to release wounds, to open things up, to get understanding of situations that you may have encountered in this lifetime, things that have gone on in your life that you didn't realize was a pattern. It was something to break yourself free of. And when you can see these things with greater clarity, when you can have this different perspective, you can come at the challenges in your life differently. You can approach the things that come in a different way. You can be less reactive. You can be more open to things. I mean, also as these things are released, like I said, it's going to open things up inside of you. Every time you release a block, every time you do healing sessions, every time you put focus on your own energy, you're calling back parts of yourself. You're clearing your energy of something that doesn't serve you. You're bringing yourself to just a new energetic space where there can be potential for new timelines, new understandings, new progress, new ways to perceive your life, to move through your life, new ways that it may remove blocks in your life that you didn't even know were there. And so just, whatever healing session you feel drawn to, whether it's with us, my business partner Jennifer or I, or if it's with somebody different, every time you do that work, every time you put focus on your own energy, intention to heal, it is huge. And you don't know what each one will open up for you, what each one will lead to, how it was blocked, how you were being blocked that you didn't even realize. So just give yourself credit for that. Give yourself credit for knowing what you need and putting focus on yourself, because whenever you are doing that, when you're bringing love to yourself, attention to yourself, it's huge. So many of us have had lifetimes where we have had events that have made us feel guilty, made us feel shame, made us pull back from being strong, from putting focus on ourselves. Just giving yourself that opportunity to be cherished, to be nourished, is huge. So just don't discount that. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever healing session, even if you're going for a walk, you're meditating, it is all important to your energy. What else do I want to say about this? Okay, so in that time, it was kind of like it was a transitional time, but it was darkness that was overtaking light. And in this time, it's transitional again, but it's the light that's coming to the dark. But we're in this point here where they're overlapping each other, which is why you may be struggling in these energies. Things are going to get better. It's the light that's pushing out the dark instead of the dark that's pushing out the light. But in this space, when you're in this transitional area, they feel the same. So please have hope. Know that, yes, our world is changing. Yes, things are coming up. It's an opportunity to heal. It's an opportunity to purge and to clear things that you do not need anymore. It's preparation for the new energies, for the new ways of being that will make space for what is coming. So just be gentle with yourself and hold yourself in a place of hope, and just know that this is going to be all right, that we're going to move through it. And wherever you are on this path, whatever it is that you are struggling with, help is available, and we're all going to get through it. Okay? So I'm going to put the link to this session below. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer those questions. We do also do a Lemurian healing session, which also is relevant to the times that we are and have been going through. I'll try and record a video about that soon. It's been on my list, I haven't done it yet. But yeah, if you feel drawn to this, let us know. Okay, bye.